And I think it was exactly at this point that I kind of regretted starting this carving. Hey, g'day people, it's Matt here from Matt Carve. So today we're going to carve a wood spirit in this log. I'm just going to show you why I'm putting the nose. I'm going to put the nose right there. And it's sort of like the most kind of, I guess, oval part, pointy part of that log. And when you're carving on a square piece, you put it on the point where the nose is. So I'm just sort of like marking in where I'm going to put that nose. And I'm going to try and leave the bark on this carving today and sort of like carve it into the log that you sort of see a lot of people do. Now, this piece of wood, I'm not really sure what it is. There are a lot of growth rings there for its size, and it feels hard. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I found it under the house. I must have put it there for a reason. Who knows? Probably as firewood. Anyway, so let's get on with carving. So I'm taking the bark off here with the Kutzall flame burr, the extreme one. Now, this wood is hard, and I kind of regret starting this carving, but I'm going to finish it, and we're going to see how it goes. You can't really tell by the video, but it's I am struggling to get anywhere fast. It kind of like if you're carving hardwoods, it's going to take maybe twice as long, if not more, depending on what you're doing. So we're putting in the nose there, and I'm just sort of like trying to define a nose. And some hardwoods are actually quite good to carve, like walnut and all of that. I find that a little bit more controllable. But this wood is kind of like dense, and it has really kind of strong grain in it as well. So you can sort of see me sort of like changing burrs all the time, and I'm just trying to find a burr that kind of works well in this wood. And I never really did find a good burr. They all had sort of like, they look promising, but you know, that one's pretty hard to get details with. It's good for planing off, and once I got those sort of like to that point, that's actually a fine taper burr, so I'm just sort of like trying to define the eyes a little bit more and going really gradually. And you can sort of see me there. I'm showing you that those eyes are not deep enough. You sort of see on this one on the left, you can see how deep those eyes are, and the one on the right, it's just not that deep. So I'm going to sort of like change it so it's sort of like that depth there, which is another lot of carving. I'm sort of like doing my head in about this stage, but you know, it's good to learn things by doing them, and so I'm going to persist with this hardwood, and I will probably burn the rest of this hardwood in the fire. Yeah, so when you're a beginner, I would really recommend not carving in hardwoods. And for the simple reason is you don't really get the practice in because you're so busy trying to remove wood. It's better to carve in softer woods so you can sort of carve more. And even like it's sort of like what I'm doing now in my carvings, I really enjoy carving the softer woods just because it's a quicker turnaround time. And if you're in America, you've got really good choices in softwood. You might have the cottonwood bark, cedar, what's the other one? Basswood. We don't have that in New Zealand. The wood that I choose to carve in is macrocarpa, which is actually from Canada, but it's quite a nice, even kind of thing to carve. So anyway, back to the carving. So I'm carving those nostrils there, and I'm using those T-shaped burrs. Now, it's taking a long time to get these details in, and it's just sort of a matter of, because this wood is so hard, it's taking a long time to get the details in. That's what I should say. So yeah, it's sort of just toiling away at it. I think I spent, I don't want to even think about how much time I spent on this carving. And that's that new burr I've got, really good for sort of like convexes, because it's got that nice flat surface on it, and it's kind of like nice as well because it's got a little bit of a point there you can sort of use around the eye and all of that. So we've gotten to this stage. Now I've left kind of the left hand side of the face so you can sort of see the comparison. So we need to sort of like take it back like that much so the nose kind of sticks out. Cheeks are really important, and I didn't have great cheeks in the end on this carving, but the thing with wood spirits is you can get away with a lot because they're kind of fantasy kind of carvings. They're not realistic, and you can hide a lot through the beard and all of that kind of stuff. So you don't worry too much about proportions and things like that. I'm sort of just looking at the cheek on that one. See how it really falls away from the nose, whereas on this one it sort of like comes out, which is not actually wrong. It's sort of like I've got that kind of chubby kind of face look, but I might take that cheek a little bit further back and see how we go with that. So I've taken that cheek further back, and you can sort of see how it looks there compared to the one on the left. So it looks a little bit more narrow. I think it looks quite good. Yeah, it looks quite cool. That's the one on the left and the one on the right. And now I'm going to work on the beard, and I've using the inverted taper. What are they? Inverted cone burrs. They're diamond burrs, so they're kind of struggling in this wood, but they're not doing too bad actually. And I'm just doing like several passes and sort of like just making it deeper and deeper. And I think I sort of like clean them up with the T-shaped diamond burrs at the end. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm doing there. Just trying to get a little bit of real high definition, I guess, in this beard, just because it was quite small. I don't want it kind of scraggly. I kind of want it a little bit more stylized. And you can sort of see I have also chosen to do a sleeping-eyed kind of wood spirit this time, just because I'm slightly tired of this wood, and I am looking forward to finishing this carving, and the next carving I'm going to do is going to be something very simple. Anyway, back to this carving. We're not finished yet. So I'm pretty happy with how it's all looking now, so I'm just going to tidy it up with that nice flame diamond burr. You can sort of use the point to do a little bit more sculpting there, and it's actually quite nice wood to look at. It's sort of it's very shiny. It's got a nice grain in it, but it sort of like was fighting me all the time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, considering it was really hard to carve and the cheeks didn't really work out the way I wanted them to, but it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Look at those that grain coming out. And if you found this video useful, if you could hit that like, that would be awesome. Helps me out, and it doesn't cost you anything to do that. We're just going to put on a wood dye now, sort of make that background quite dark, so it sort of like looks like it's disappearing into the little log.